Hello, it's Em, the beginner crafter. Welcome to another BudgetTube video, and I will be closing up February, and also later on I'll show you the budgeting for March that I had recorded earlier, but I decided to put it as one video, and for me it's more logical to first close February and then budget March. So that's what we'll be doing. And this is my folder with everything that I have. So these are the pages that I'm going to need. I have the printed version, and my starting balance was 2,239.43, and incoming income this month was 11,934.37. So this was a really good month, but I got about 4,000 extra that I normally don't get, because this was my 13th salary. And I wish I could earn this much in a month, but this is just this one time thing. And the total income was 14,173.8. And my categories are bills, fuel, healthy food, eating out, groceries, savings, beauty, fun, retirement, sinking funds, medical, and charity. And retirement and charity, I had to sort of take out from my bills because that's where they usually are. And I will have to think about maybe putting it differently in categories as well. I'm really not sure how to work that out yet, but maybe it's just a question of naming things. Maybe it shouldn't be bills but utilities, and that would show more the bills that I have to pay to live, and then have all those extra things like charity or retirement that I pay every month, and they go automatically from my account, but they are not necessarily bills to pay. So I'll have to think about that. And my bills this month, I budgeted 1,320.39, while I spent 1,348.38. So I did spend a bit more, about this much. Fuel, I budgeted at 350, but I only spent 186.89. I didn't go out too much, so that was a real saving here. 163.11 less than I budgeted. Healthy food, I budgeted 400 and I spent 246. So I also saved here 154. Eating out, I budgeted 450 and I spent 329.87, which is 120 less than budgeted. Groceries, I budgeted as well 450 and I spent 431.44, so that was close. 1856. Now savings, I budgeted 6,260.07, while I saved 6,835.31. and that was mainly due to this extra salary, because part of it I did put for my savings, next month's savings, that the 1,200 that I spent at the beginning of the month. So part of this extra salary went for that, and the rest I could put also extra into savings and other categories. Beauties is 0 because I didn't spend anything on beauty this month. Fun was 250, while I spent 309.57. So I went a bit overboard on this one, and I spent more, but it's fun. So I think that's what it's supposed to look like. Retirement is 70 always until I change my mind, so there's no problem here. Sinking funds 870, just as planned, as budgeted. Medical, I planned 5908 because that were the leftovers, but I spent 6291, so a little bit more. And charity, I budgeted 40, I actually spent 44, so that's 4 more. And when it comes to percentages, bills are 9.5% of my income. I don't know, 10%. I read somewhere that, it should be more, but then I think people meant bills and everything that you need for living, so food, fuel, things like that together. So I guess we'll get to a bigger number later on, but I think it's not bad if just 10% of my income, although it was a big income, so it's probably not the best month to compare such things, but looks nice. So 1.3%. Now that I'm thinking about it, I might have made a mistake when counting things. Because I'm not sure if I counted this 1,200 from this month's salary that will go on to March's expense as the money that I spent. I don't think I did. I really don't think I did. And I don't know what to do with that money. I mean, where to actually count it, whether I should count it here because I planned for it here, or whether to put it in March because I will spend it in March. I think I will put it in March. I'll just need to remember to have this incoming income as a bigger income, buy that money, and then probably things won't work here with the amounts because I will count this 1,200 twice. So I will have to learn how to do that, because that's weird. I'll have to look at the Budget Mom's videos a bit more and maybe read her blog a bit more and figure out how she does that. So that's something that I hadn't thought about before. But okay, let's move on. 2.3%. Groceries are 3%. So food in total is 7%. So it looks like my utilities, everything that I need to live, is about 20%, which I guess is pretty low. Okay, savings were 48.2%. Beauty, of course, 0. Fun, 2.2. Retirement, 0.5%. Sinking funds, 6.1. Medical and charity are really tiny amounts. And the difference was 214.83. So this is the amount of money that I kind of mis-budgeted. Luckily, my most overspent category was the savings, so... But I also didn't budget all the money that I had, so it's not like I used some money that I didn't have. Okay, so I don't have any debt. Total monthly income was 1,473.8. Total monthly savings, 6,930. Because I have those savings as 6,930, and not the amount that I had in the previous page, because I decided to only think about those savings categories that I have here. So without the cushion, but including the Queen emergency fund, because these are my 4 goals that I find the most important. Well, still it's 48.9%. Okay, and for the flat, I saved 5,540. For the car, 760. Emergency fund, 460. And Queen, 170. So the flat, almost 80% of the savings category. So you can see that this is my priority. And then everything goes just as it should. And the good news is that when I was doing my yearly goals, the monthly amounts are smaller here than here for the 2nd month in a row, which means I should really be able to complete those goals and even overdo them, because here I was supposed to pay 1,354, and I thought this was going to be difficult, and yet this month 5,500, so that's like 4 months worth of this amount. Car is also bigger, maybe not as much, but still it's bigger. Emergency fund also 277 planned, 460 this month, great. And Queen, it's just the small amount, the difference, because I don't want to put coins into the envelope, so I just rounded up to the nearest 10. That's why it's just, a very small difference, but still I have the money saved extra. So that is fantastic news. I'll be honest, when I was doing my yearly savings goals and I was counting this, and especially the down payment goal, I had my doubts that I would be able to save this month. And this whole budgeting really gave me a kick to actually put all the extra money to the down payment category. It's unbelievable how this can motivate you to do that. Just looking at the numbers and seeing how much you have at the end of the month, and that you actually can live on a specific amount of money. And these things add up, because normally I would wait until the end of the month to throw some extra money in. For example, to have, excuse me, for example, to have a round amount of money as my end balance or starting balance for the next month. So for example, I don't know, 2,000, I want to stay there. So if I had 2,321, I would throw that extra over 2,000 to the goal. But now I do it every paycheck. I know it sounds weird with my paychecks. I don't have paychecks per se, actually. I only have this monthly salary, and then I get the money from my school, my language school, and then at the end of the month, like in the last 2 days of the month, I get the extra money from school if I had any extra hours. And the rest of the money that I get is almost every day. So it's difficult to have like specific paychecks or pay weeks. So what I've learned to do is doing the salary paycheck to just distribute all the money that I would need for the month, and then there's not really a lot of money for the savings. I'll show you that later on. But then when I'll be doing, I think about the 10th of the month, I will be doing all my private lessons and IOUs there. So then it will mostly go to savings. And then I'll have this salary from the school, the language school, like in the 3rd week of the month. That's when we usually get the money. And that will maybe cover some other expenses that will happen throughout the month that I hadn't thought of, or suddenly the prices went up and I couldn't afford, let's put it this way. But it really does make me think about saving goals much more often during the month than just the end of the month, which is great. And since, you know, I'm not in debt, so I don't have really financial problems, it did make me better at thinking about my money and at saving goals. So even if you are at such a situation that you don't really have debt, and you know, if you save some money here and there, and good, but it's not a priority, so you don't think you need a budget, I would suggest you actually did that, because it does help to think about your money, to just realize how much you spend here and there and how much you could save for something extra that normally you wouldn't think you could save up for. So, because really before I was really thinking that, oh my god, saving so much money for the down payment will take me a really long time. Now when I see those numbers, they probably won't be as high every month, obviously, but now that I see those numbers, it's like, wow, I actually can do it, and I may do it quicker than I had thought, which is a really great feeling. So budgeting really worth your while, and does have some good qualities to it. Okay, it's the beginning of the month, so it's time to plan March as the budget for at least the first, the main paycheck of mine. So let's try and do that. Okay, so first I need to write the dates. And let's figure out how I get paid and when I need to pay stuff. So here's my school pay. Then I've got bank, and I know this month it's going to be quite early. I don't know why, but that's what happens. Then the savings, and the savings are from my February salary that I had, and that I left specifically for that purpose. So that's yellow, because this is from my previous month's salary, extra salary that I got as a teacher. We usually get once a year, we get a 13th salary. That is like the average salary from the whole year, and usually it happens in February, and that's why I was able to transition. And that was the plan, that salary will be used for the savings, and when I get my private students now, I'll also want to put this as my salary, as my savings for this kind of bill. That's not really a bill, just to really plan my normal budget for the month, just using my main salary. The goal is that one day I will buy a flat, I will buy a new car, I will have a big enough emergency fund, and hopefully I will pay my future house loan, or future flat loan. I won't be buying a house, I don't think, at least. So this money will not be necessary, and I won't have to work extra to get the extra money. And I'll be able to budget everything using just my main salary, and maybe the extra hours that we get from school sometimes. And that will be it. So that's what I will be doing this month. So first, let's budget all the rest of my bills that I have to pay using this paycheck alone. Okay, so this is what I think my month will look like. I know everything that's in pen. I know that this is what it's going to look like. I'm not really sure about my electricity bill because it hasn't come yet. I checked my last time bill, because I pay electricity every other month, and I did add something to the last bill just in case, but I really don't think it will be over 85. And I put in pencil what I think and when I think I will get the money from my private lessons school, extra lessons, my language school, and that should add up to over what I need for next month's savings. So it should work. It should work for the next month. And now let's go for the bill tracker. And that's on the 1st of March. And the bills I need to pay are to the bank. And I know that this will be on the 2nd this month. I don't know why. Usually it goes out later. Then my credit card, just for having it, that's $11.99. My retirement fund. Okay, and here's an interesting thing about my rent. I pay monthly rent to the housing society every year, and in this rent we have quite a lot of things, including water, heating, and etc. And every year, well, every 6 months they do the water check, if we really spend as much as they had planned. And every year there's also just the whole counting of everything that we paid for and everything that we spent for it. So also using elevators or lifts, using the video phones. Well, we don't have video phones, but you know, those things that you buzz people into the building. Heating throughout the whole year. And what happens is usually I pay over during the year with all the monthly rent, and then for a few months I don't need to pay the rent. And that's actually the case here. I only need to pay the rent fund, the renovation fund, but not the rent itself. However, as a thank you for, you know, being a diligent payer, they decided to raise the rent. So when I get back to paying the rent, it will be a bigger amount than what it used to be. But at least for a few months, I don't need to pay the rent. However, because I want to be able to budget that amount, I won't really put it into bills, but I will put that amount into either a sinking fund, like extra than what I would usually do, or to extra savings, which I think I should do. I'm more likely to put it into extra savings. So this amount I will keep in mind and put it extra somewhere so that I have it in my budget for every month. But this is the money extra that I can spend somewhere in that month because I don't have to pay the rent. Then I have a property tax to pay, which is a yearly tax for everyone who owns a flat or a house. It's not a big amount, so I don't really plan for it throughout the year because it's only 37, so it would be what, 3 per month? It just doesn't make sense. I just spend less in my envelopes and that's it. or I can subtract it from my monthly rent sort of allowance, because this is the repeated history story that in March I don't pay the rent, but I have to pay the property tax, so the money is there anyway. Okay, so let's sum this up. Okay, so my bills this month total to 827.57. And that leaves me 2,695.1. Okay, so fuel, let's stick to 250. Let's put this out of the way. Oh, I need to plan for the whole month, so maybe let's put it at 300. I haven't yet summed up the month, so I don't know how much I spent on fuel last month, but I don't think it was more than 300, so I hope that 300 will be enough for the month. I introduced miscellaneous because I really don't know what else I could think of. But it's better to have the money planned. Okay, that's 2,100. Gives me 595.1. Okay, now I need my Queen savings sinking fund. Although the concert has been moved until next year, so in theory I don't need to spend as much money now on it, but I decided it's best to do that. So the leftover that I have is 425.1, which, including the property tax, will be very, very, very close to, well, no, it's even higher than what I'm supposed to pay in rent, which is good. That's great. Let's hope I can really stick to those envelopes here. Okay then, so what we have left over is here, and we've got flat, car and emergency fund, and a cushion. It's always good to have some cushion, even if it's just a small amount. And now, what I need to remember about, and I tend to forget, is that some of the money will be charged immediately every time I make a payment here for all those three savings things. Savings goals. So I will definitely pay this. So that's what, 1, 2, 3, 4. 5, 6, 7, 8. Eight bills plus here. So that will be quite a lot of payments. So this kind of won't be the, oh, it will be the extra money, because of course once I don't need to save for a specific goal and at least save such big amounts, I won't have those extra savings. And I know I could, and I guess it would be a better idea to also put those extra savings, those extra charges in other paychecks, because this is the extra money. But because I get paid in this weird way when it comes to private lessons, I better plan for it like right now. But that is an idea for later, to really think about it later on, and when I'll be doing future budgets, to maybe think about moving those extra savings into other paychecks, just like I did with those savings that are every time. So that is an idea, but that is an idea for the future. So for now, let's say 8 payments here and at least 4 payments from here. So that's 120 for each of these goals. So let's write it like this, and 120 in memory. So that's 360 in total. And I have 425.1 to use. So 360, that's 65.1 extra. So I guess I'll pay an extra 60 here, so that's 180. And then we've got 425.1, and that's a 0 left over. And this is what my month should look like. But definitely a lesson to learn is one, once I will have a few months done, I will know better how to budget for the whole month, because right now I only have January closed. I haven't yet closed February, because I still need to wait a day until my bank just really does its thing and really puts all the payments in the correct dates, just to make sure that I have recorded everything when it comes to what I paid to whom and what amount. So after I have a bit more of months closed up, I will know more about how much I spent every month and what I can do to my cash envelopes. And think about what to do with those extra savings, whether not to put them in the later paychecks, or at least to just be more correct to some things. Just consider the first week of the month, because during the first week of the month I usually will get paid some money from my private students, and then I will be able to just use this money for all those extra savings. For now it stays like this. I will of course have to add in some future paychecks this extra savings, because I will be making more payments, so more money will go to those accounts. But yeah, that's how it stays for now. I don't know if I made any sense, but this is what it is for now. I guess in the video this part will be actually the second part, so later when I will record the closing of the month, it will actually be before budgeting March, so I guess you'll be seeing some of the things that I'm not seeing yet. But I hope planning the next month, planning April, will already be smoother and will make more sense, hopefully. Okay, if you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. It's nice to know that you like it and it really helps. And consider subscribing to my channel to see my future progress. Thank you for watching and hopefully see you next time. Bye!